Can a 4-year-old really ride a dirt bike? And can a single moment like that change how we see parenting forever? Shawn Johnson, the Olympic gold medal winning gymnast, has spent much of her life in the public eye. From her early days as a world-class athlete to her transition into retirement, marriage, and motherhood, she has continued to draw attention not just for her achievements, but for how she shares her life beyond the gym. In recent years, her social media presence has shifted toward family life, offering glimpses into her journey as a mother. And recently, one of those glimpses sparked a surprisingly intense wave of reactions online. A video surfaced showing her 4-year-old son riding a dirt bike. It didn't take long for the clip to spread. Within hours, it was being discussed, reposted, and debated across platforms. Some people watched it with admiration, others watched it with concern, and many simply watched it with confusion, asking the same question over and over again: how is a child that young doing something like that? At first glance, the reaction is understandable. Dirt bikes are loud, fast, and powerful machines. Even adults treat them with caution. So seeing a preschool-aged child sitting on one naturally triggers a sense of alarm in many viewers. It challenges what most people consider normal or safe for a child that age. But parenting, as anyone who has experienced it knows, rarely fits into simple categories. There is always a tension between protection and independence, between keeping a child safe and allowing them to explore the world around them, between fear of injury and encouragement of growth. And in moments like this, that tension becomes visible to the entire internet. In the video, Shawn Johnson's son appears focused. He is not panicked or overwhelmed. Instead, he seems engaged, alert, and excited. For some viewers, that was surprising in a positive way. They saw confidence. They saw curiosity. They saw what looked like a child enjoying a new experience under supervision. For others, that same image raised immediate concern. Confidence does not eliminate risk, and excitement does not replace safety precautions. That divide in perception is what made the moment so widely discussed. Shawn Johnson, of course, is no stranger to discipline and training. As a former elite athlete, she spent years in an environment where physical skill, repetition, and structured progression were part of everyday life. Gymnastics, after all, is one of the most demanding sports in the world, requiring early development of balance, coordination, and mental focus. Because of that background, some observers believe she may approach parenting through a similar lens, one that values early exposure to challenges and structured learning experiences. Others argue that athletic discipline and childhood risk are two very different things and should not be compared directly. Still, what stands out most in the public reaction is not just the video itself, but what people project onto it. Some viewers see a moment of empowerment, a child being introduced to a skill, guided carefully, and allowed to build confidence early. They argue that children often surprise adults with their abilities when given the opportunity to try new things in controlled environments. Others see a moment of unnecessary risk, a situation where caution should have outweighed curiosity. For them, the image of a 4-year-old on a dirt bike is enough to raise questions about boundaries, safety standards, and judgment. And somewhere between those two perspectives lies the reality that most of the public will never fully know. Because what the video does not show is just as important as what it does. It does not show the full safety setup in detail. It does not show the training leading up to the moment. It does not show the decisions made behind the scenes or the precautions that may have been taken. It is a short clip of a longer process, viewed without full context. That is often how viral moments work. They capture a fragment of reality and turn it into a full conversation. As the clip continued circulating, discussions expanded beyond Shawn Johnson herself and into broader parenting debates. Social media users began sharing their own experiences, opinions, and childhood comparisons. Some recalled riding bikes or vehicles at young ages themselves, often in different environments, and with varying levels of supervision. Others pointed out that parenting norms have shifted over time. What was once considered normal in certain communities or eras may now be viewed differently today, due to increased awareness of safety standards and injury prevention. This is where the conversation becomes less about one family and more about cultural perspective. Different households have different thresholds for risk. Different parents have different definitions of readiness, and different environments shape what is considered acceptable or unusual. In many ways, the viral response reflects not just a reaction to Shawn Johnson's family, but a larger conversation about modern parenting in a digital age where private family moments can become public debates within minutes. As the discussion grew, so did the emotional tone. Supporters of Shawn Johnson emphasized trust in children, encouraging independence, and allowing kids to explore interests without excessive restriction. Critics emphasized caution, developmental readiness, and the importance of minimizing unnecessary danger. Both sides, in their own way, were responding to the same core concern, a desire to protect children. That shared motivation is often overlooked in online debates, where disagreement can feel sharper than it really is. Meanwhile, Shawn Johnson herself has continued sharing family content in a broader sense, focusing on everyday parenting moments, milestones, and experiences. Like many public figures who are also parents, she navigates a unique space where normal family life becomes content for millions of viewers, each with their own interpretation. That reality adds another layer to situations like this. A private parenting decision in one household becomes a public discussion in another. A moment meant for family memory becomes a topic of global commentary. And a short video becomes a long debate about safety, childhood, and parenting philosophy. In the end, the dirt bike moment is less about a single activity and more about the way modern audiences engage with parenthood online. It raises questions that do not have simple answers. How early is too early for certain experiences? How do parents balance encouragement with caution? How much context do viewers need before forming opinions? And perhaps most importantly, how do we separate viral moments from the full reality behind them? Because what remains clear is that a short video can never fully represent the complexity of a parenting decision. It can show a moment, but not the full story. It can spark conversation, but not provide complete understanding. So when people ask whether a 4-year-old riding a dirt bike can change how we see parenting, the answer is not really about the dirt bike itself. It is about how quickly we interpret what we see, how easily we react to fragments of information, and how differently each person defines safety, trust, and childhood growth. In that sense, the real story is not just about Shawn Johnson or her son. It is about the ongoing conversation every parent faces in some form, the balance between letting go and holding on. And that conversation, unlike a viral video, does not end after a few seconds. It continues, evolves, and shifts with every new generation. Thanks for the watching and subscribe.